talk about America for a second. The land of the free, the land of the brave. At least, that's how it was introduced to the world on July 4th, 1776, when the Declaration of Independence boldly declared that all men are created equal. But when the new nation passed the Indian Removal Act in 1830, forcing entire native nations from their homelands, it became clear that equality depended on the color of a man's skin and the race of his people. Families marched thousands of miles on what became known as the Trail of Tears. Thousands died. And still, America called itself the standard of freedom. The Constitution, ratified in 1789, was built with checks and balances to prevent tyranny. On paper, it was revolutionary. In reality, slavery was the economic foundation, and the lives of millions were treated as property. By 1861, the contradictions tore the country apart. The Civil War claimed more than 600,000 lives before the Union declared victory. Abraham Lincoln's Emancipation Proclamation in 1863 and the 13th Amendment in 1865 promised freedom. But freedom on paper never meant freedom in practice. Reconstruction collapsed, and Jim Crow laws rose in its place. Segregation and violence became the new order. In 1921, the Tulsa Massacre wiped out what was called Black Wall Street, killing hundreds and destroying the prosperity of thousands who dared to dream of equality. And still, America called itself the leader of the free world. After World War II, the United States positioned itself as democracy's champion. Billions of dollars were poured into rebuilding Europe through the Marshall Plan of 1948, while at home, citizens fought for basic dignity. Protesters of the 1950s and 60s demanded civil rights. They were met with clubs, dogs, fire hoses, and prison cells. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., who preached nonviolence and hope, was assassinated in 1968. That same year, protests against the Vietnam War filled the streets, and the nation's own people questioned whether its leaders spoke for them at all. Through it all, power remained in the hands of a few. In the Gilded Age of the late 1800s, robber barons controlled industry. In the modern era, corporations and lobbyists shape the laws. The wealth gap tells the story. By 2021, the richest 1% controlled more than 30% of the nation's wealth, while half of American households lived paycheck to paycheck. Democracy, once defined as government of the people, by the people, and for the people, now bends under the weight of money and influence. And yet America still tells the world it is a democracy. But when votes are carved up by gerrymandering, when money decides elections, when leaders openly dismiss the voices of millions, what remains of that word? From the first shot fired at Lexington in 1775 to the attack on the U.S. Capitol on January 6, 2021, America has been in conflict with itself, built on ideals of liberty, but scarred by centuries of division. A nation that promised equality, but delivered it selectively. The truth is that America has always been both a dream and a contradiction. The question is whether it can ever live up to the standard it claimed to set. A land where all people truly flourish. Because racism and division have always been the central wound. For some, survival is built on whiteness, on clinging to the idea that privilege and power are birthrights to be protected. For others, confusion sets in when Black Americans are convinced to defend systems that were never built for them, proud to wear the labels of those who once denied them. We see it today in movements like MAGA, where rage is dressed up as patriotism, and where loyalty to division is mistaken for loyalty to country. And so, the struggle continues, not just over land, laws, or leaders, but over the soul of America itself.